It takes a lot of time and research to develop a new wheat variety, and this latest announcement from Kansas State and the Kansas Wheat Alliance highlights the momentum that's been happening in wheat breeding research.
Farmers wanted to see an investment in research. We've seen a lot of gains in soybeans and corn, and they really expect to see that in wheat also. And so I think that's why you're seeing the private companies as well as universities seeing a much more stronger investment into wheat research.
This latest hard red winter wheat, called KanMARK, is a big step in developing future varieties.
Well, it's going to really benefit growers in the western part of the state through the southern plains. It has good yield potential and disease resistance. I think it's going to really fit a need out there that we've had the last couple of years, but it really signifies what's in the pipeline and what's coming for farmers.
Gilpin said there were pivotal moments in wheat breeding that have spurred the development of new varieties.
I think there's a lot of key points in the last 100 years that Kansas State University has done in development for wheat varieties across the region. But I really think we're standing at a pivotal point right now. We're standing here with an investment in the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center at Kansas State University. We're seeing varieties becoming released more often. Genetics are going to be moving in the hands of farmers faster than we've ever seen. It's advanced technologies are becoming cheaper. I think it's a time that we're going to see, probably look back and say that right now is a pivotal time in wheat research.
For me, I think one of the keys would be the development of semi-dwarf wheats in the mid-70s. They allowed us to have better yielding wheats, they stand better, they're just easier for the farmers. The other, again, would be some of the interest in the last 5 or 6 years from private companies in wheat development. Certainly, the double haploid process really cuts our breeding time in about half, and so instead of 10 or 12 years, we're looking at 5 or 6 years. And so we're just starting to see some of those come online now. So we're going to have kind of a whole slew of wheat varieties coming in the next 5 years, where in the past we've only got one, every couple of years.
Strouts talked about the origin of the name for this latest wheat variety.
K-State's been releasing wheat varieties for 100 years, and the first one 100 years ago was called Can Red, Kansas for that part, and then red because it was a red wheat. And so since it's the 100th anniversary, we thought we'd kind of try to follow that. A man by the name of Mark Carlton helped develop that first Can Red wheat, and so in honor of him, it's Can for Can Red and Mark for Mark Carlton. KanMARK. The thing about KanMARK is it's well adapted to the western part of the state and the drier climates. We haven't had very many varieties for that area, but also it has good resistance to the rust races that we have out there, so leaf rust, stripe rust, and stem rust.
The wheat industry is getting a lot of support on multiple fronts.
Kansas Wheat Commission is the entity that collects 2 cents a bushel checkoff for whenever a farmer sells a bushel of wheat. Almost $1 million a year are invested back into the wheat variety development programs at Kansas State University, which are going to help advance genetics to get in the hands of farmers.
Kansas State University develops wheat varieties, but they don't really have any way of commercializing them, get them out to the producers, so that's where Wheat Alliance comes in. We take those new varieties, we get them spread out to about 250 wheat seed producers across the state and the region. They in turn then grow it as seed and sell it to farmers, so we help them do that.
With industry support from the newly built Kansas Wheat Innovation Center, wheat growers can expect a lot more varieties in the next few years. Reporting from Manhattan, Kansas, I'm Janelle Ost for This Week in Agribusiness.